disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case.
Good morning, it is 10:02 on Friday, November 14th, 2025. Call this meeting of the Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. First item of business today is to canvass the election results of the November 4th, 2025 constitutional amendment election. Everyone should have those results in their backup documents on the network drive. And I'm also going to ask Robin to come up, and I just had a couple of questions about the results, or not the results, the actual election itself.
I will get, just because I made copies
Go.
of these. That's the official reconciliation.
Thank you.
We're interested. We put this on hand as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll send that in the first email. Okay.
All right, so I guess my just overall, this election seemed to go very well from the standpoint logistically. Didn't have any unexpected issues pop up. Had our normal technical
Yeah,
problems. It's just a part of
part
working
of,
tech.
it's
But,
part of it.
have y'all completed your? You'll have to do two separate counts if I remember correctly: the partial manual and the audit, or
No,
that's just the
RLA
one?
is not started. The
Okay.
risk limiting audit is not started yet. But we are, it's not called partial manual count, it's called hand count now.
Excuse me.
Something, I don't even remember what it's called now. But no, we have, and it is more extensive than it was before.
Okay.
So we do 3 election day locations, everything. We do 3 early voting locations, everything. Not everything as far as propositions, we still have 3 propositions. And then we do mail ballots by precinct. The only thing we have left is early voting at the mall, which is the biggest, that's what we started today. And then we're finishing up early voting at the courthouse, we're almost done with that one. But so far, everything else we've done, election day matched 100%, mail ballots matched 100%. The one early voting location that we finished, which was Iowa Park, matched 100%, so we have 2 left, and we'll finish those, hopefully finish those today.
And when you say match, what are y'all looking at comparing?
You are matching the actual tabulated results that come from the V drives to the actual paper ballots, and they match 100%. Every paper ballot that we have, we tally it up for Proposition 3, Proposition 7, Proposition 14, and it matches 100% to what we show on here. We match fors, against, and undervotes, and it's matched 100% on everything. So, say they only have the 2 locations left. So,
How many ballots do you have to do that with?
well, for election day, the TxDOT was one of them. We had
Oh.
600 and some ballots
Box.
for that one. There were 600 for TxDOT. Courthouse had 400 and something. The mall's the biggest. It's got 2,095 is what we have to count.
And those are all hand
Yeah.
counted
Yeah.
by ballot.
You count, yeah, before you used to go in and they would give you precincts to look for. So we used to open the bag and they would tell us to pull out precinct 104, 310, and 407, and you'd have to find those ballots. Now you count the entire bag. So for the mall, we're counting all 2,095
Wow,
for Proposition 3, 7, and 14, which is what the state gave us.
wow.
So it is more extensive, it's more labor intensive, but it does give you a better, it gives you a better picture of how accurate your actual results are.
So,
So,
on your paper, and I know the answer, but answer me anyway. The comparison of voters and counted ballots, you show 8 ballots, or 8, a discrepancy of 8
8.
persons, so
Yes.
can you explain that? for
They
anyone who
left
might be
with their
watching?
ballot. I know for a fact one location found one in the trash. I
Okay.
know another location says that they thought the lady put it in her purse. They asked her, she said she didn't, but they do not think she scanned it. And the rest probably just walked out with them. Cause you gotta think, if you don't catch them, I've seen it firsthand. People will fold that thing up faster than they can fold up.
They think it's
Anything.
their
They think
receipt
it's
or
their-
something?
They think it is their receipt and they walk out with it, yes.
Even though they tell them when they
Yes, to
when they
scan
walk
it.
away with the ballot,
Yes.
to make sure that they pull
Yes.
it out and take it over
Yeah,
to the
but
scanner.
I know they found one in the trash, and then I know they think that somebody put one in their purse. But
Okay.
I have seen, it was back when we had Home Depot. I had a guy who, I'm talking to the poll worker, cause I had to drop something off, and I'm telling you, he had it folded up the size of a credit card before you could even like blink. And so they had to catch him and get him to unfold it, and it did still scan,
Wow.
but, They're fast. They just think it's their result. They think it's their receipt. So yeah,
Yeah,
we had
even-
8 of those.
Okay, even though they're told, and I experienced that.
Even though they're
that
told,
they're-
correct.
They
Mhm.
tell you every time,
Yeah, they tell you every time, but yeah.
okay,
So
Just-
yeah,
just for
Part of it.
education purposes. so.
yeah, part of it.
All right.
It is, this is proof that we do have paper ballots that,
Yeah.
that track, every voter has a paper ballot that's backed up, so.
Yeah, well, you look at your total people that checked in compared to what ballots are scanned. So everybody that checked in to vote didn't necessarily cast a vote. And those are the people that left with their ballot. I mean, we've had people before go up to the duos and start voting and say, I don't wanna do this anymore, and leave. Well, they checked in, so they are a checked in voter, but they didn't ever cast a ballot, and we've had that happen as well. I don't know that we had that this one, we did have it the last constitutional, I know. We had a guy stop midway and said, I'm not doing this. So they had to spool the ballot and it didn't count, but he was a checked in voter,
Wow.
so.
And there's no way to, we're not obligated to make it more stringent where you can actually say, did you feed this machine your paper ballot before we
No.
open the gate to let them out?
No. And some people, I mean, I would maybe give a little bit on that if these were new machines, but we've had these machines for years. These are not new machines, so people should be familiar. Those people that are gonna vote, and especially in like this kind of election, are typically your regular voters.
Sure.
So, I would understand if this was a presidential and you got your one person every 4 years, but that's probably not what showed up for this election, so.
Anytime you get human beings interacting with anything, there's gonna be
It's
some
gonna be some
level
error.
of error.
Correct.
And we got, what, 1 in 1,000 here?
Yeah,
8,500.
right.
The new legislator changes that are making you do more counting, is that
Yes.
gonna affect your payroll year to year, you think?
Yes, cause it is, has to be done by ballot board, yes. The ballot board has been here every day, helping us do partial manual count.
So it's
Um,
increased your
it's
labor
increased
cost on
labor
that end
costs.
quite a bit.
Mhm.
Just
Yes.
bringing that up
Yes,
for the people out there that are paying attention, that those laws do have consequences, cost
do
us
have
more,
consequences,
cost us
yes.
more money.
it is, and it's more labor intensive because you're counting everything and versus where you got to at least pull out certain, which could have been that was tricky too, cause
Right.
you're looking for 70 and you go through the whole bag and you found 69 and you go through the whole bag again trying to find the one you're missing, so, this way you're just counting everything, so, but it is more labor intensive, so, but it is what it is.
Okay.
I prefer it actually, so, cause it does give a better representation of the accuracy of your machines, so.
We had 11% voter turnout. Do you remember what it was for the presidential last year?
We were roughly, I wanna say 50-something turnout, 50-some% turnout, I think is what we had, which was average for the state. I haven't even looked to what the state average is for this one. It's gonna be higher in some places, cause some people had city races that were contested that are, if we had had something no different than the November of 23, which was the amendment election, we had bigger turnout because we also had the mayor of the city of Wichita Falls and some council seats on there, so that plays a factor into your turnout as well, so.
As sad as it is, these are actually pretty good numbers compared to what I
Yeah.
think we expected.
Yeah, we had more I was a little worried, the first week of early voting was pretty sad, ramped up towards the end of the week, and then election day really wasn't too bad. I was kind of impressed that it was kind of as high as it was actually
Yeah,
for
kind of all
election
over
day,
the place.
and all over the place, yeah, so.
Okay. As far as what our requirement here is, y'all remember, we, canvassing the results, we don't really approve, disapprove, or anything, we just receive them and are acknowledging that it's in public.
I'm presenting
and
them to you, yes,
So,
You file it.
as the
Yes.
official,
You
yes.
file it.
We did have 4 from the unofficial on election night to today's, we added 4. We had 1 provisional, and I think we got 3 mail ballots that were counted, so I think we added a total of 4 between unofficial and official, so we ended up with 8,500, an even number, which I love, so.
okay.
but-
Any other questions for Robin about this election?
Just a comment.
Mhm.
I feel really confident that our numbers are excellent, that we're doing an outstanding job with our elections now.
Yeah.
I mean, these numbers speak for themselves, so.
Yeah.
That's 3 elections now with the hand count that have all been 100%.
November of 23, primary, I had, one May, runoff.
So
This is 7 for me.
Oh. Forget about the runoffs.
Yeah,
And a couple
and the
of
May elections.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sure those candidates didn't forget about the runoffs, so neither did you.
Exactly.
But, okay.
Looking
And
at
then-
I mean,
Yeah.
new machines in
Huh?
the future, new machines in the future.
I think it's coming whether you like it or not.
We've heard
I
that
think
rumor,
eventually-
so.
Yeah,
that'll be after 2027.
yeah.
You think
Yeah.
it'll be that far?
I think
It-
that the next legislature's probably gonna do something with it.
They're
I
gonna send,
think
send a
it's,
check with it.
I hope so.
it depends on, cause you have to think, there's, the presidential, what am I trying to think of? Whatever the president signs, he makes a
Executive order.
recommendation, he wants to get rid of, go to paper ballots, blah, blah, blah. That has to go to the EAC commission. They look at it and then they recommend changes, and then the states have to look at that and go, do we wanna follow it? It's a big, long process. I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon, but I do think eventually it's coming,
So,
so.
are we still under the, not banned, but not unable to use the ES&S, barcode machines? Is that still in effect, or is that
I
never
don't
going into
know,
effect?
I don't even really listen to any of the S&S since we don't have it. So
But-
I don't know what they're trying to revamp or do. Right now, I think they're still certified. They did have issues with their poll pads being uncertified, but I
Yeah.
think those have been recertified, I'm not 100% sure.
That limits our options in the state of Texas to one.
Yes, Hart,
Company.
yeah, and Hart is so far the only one that is been commissioned, their new one, their Vanguard machine, I think is the only one that has been created that has already met EAC standards, going forward. And then No Ink, I think, is the only, which is our poll pad provider, I think they are the only ones that have been accredited going forward as well, so, we're in a good spot with Hart and, No Ink, in my opinion, so. Not to say something couldn't
Not
happen
that I'm
or
concerned
something
about
changes.
machines, but when we only have one player in the big field like Texas, it's concerning.
Yeah.
Tends to make the price go up.
Yeah,
Yes,
that and,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now we're good. I think eventually it will be a price tag the county is looking at, yeah.
Yeah.
We do seem to have a lot more maintenance ongoing now.
yeah.
It's
You know,
electronic equipment.
machines are finicky, they're picky. I'm telling you, I can go to a polling location, happened this time, would not turn on, would not turn on, would not turn on, brought it back, turned it on, by the 4th time, got it to work just fine. Sometimes they're just picky. So, nothing you can do about it. Sometimes they're picky on feeding the paper, it is what it is.
Yeah. Great job by you and your team, thank you. Any other questions on the election results? All right,
Thank
we have canvassed them, thank you.
Fantastic, thank y'all. I would love to say, but I'm not.
All right, item number 2 is a presentation by Lucas Orozco of Sovra regarding their bidding and contract management software. I don't see Lucas here, so I'm guessing we have a Zoom presentation? Okay. I'll look at Cody until we get him on.
He got it.
Good morning. Oh, hold on, we gotta get you on. We don't have the audio yet. He's not muted, but we're not hearing him.
Testing, testing.
There we
Yeah,
go.
we got you.
All right.
Good morning. Lucas, I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to do a quick short presentation of our
Thanks, Mark.
solution today. To formally introduce myself, my name is Lucas Orozco. I'm the account executive with Sobra. And really what that means, I'm just your point of contact to guide you throughout the process. I'm a lifelong Texan, born in Texas, based out here in the New Braunfels, so happy to be with you today and have my colleague, Kat Knapp, I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Kat Knapp, and that is my real name. And I am on the solutions consulting team, so I'll be showing you the system really quickly here today.
Thank you, Kat. Kat. So let me just share my screen really quick. Can I get confirmation you can see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. So I just want to share really briefly who we are, who we serve, and what results do we give to our customers. So here at Sobra, we have a robust sourcing contract solution, leveraging the entire procurement process from solicitation to contract management, and just a couple of customers we serve across Texas, including the North Cog, Dallas County, amongst many others across Texas. I do want to wrap up really quick, but just by sharing the results we give our customers and common stories I hear all the time. Before I talk about what you're seeing here, I do want to talk about our vendor network. We have so anytime any agency partners with us, they get access to our 1 million vendor network across the country. But more specifically, Texas having over 30,000 vendors wanting to do business specifically with Texas public agencies, with an average growth rate of about 800 new vendors joining the Texas purchasing group per month. So we have a robust vendor network. And what that means for our customers, we often hear stories of a 300 to 400% increase in vendor engagement on those public bids. For example, City of Seguin, they're my neighbor, they're right behind me, that's why they're top of mind. They used to think 2 to 3 responses from vendors on these public bids were good, and that is pretty good, given they were on a manual process. Now they're averaging about 9 to 12 responses per public bid. Of course, that varies per commodity, but in general, they're seeing about a 300% increase. Now, what that means for our customers, common sense here, right? More vendor responses, stronger competition, improved pricing, driving down those costs, or at minimum, checking those cost increases, because we were in an inflationary environment for a long time. Hopefully, we're starting to exit that. But a story I like to share is Comal County, the county I live in. One of our customers, I was speaking to JD, the purchasing agent recently, and I asked him, like, hey, we take pride in our vendor network. Have we actually saved you any money? And he's like, yeah, I did a road maintenance bid recently. 2 new vendors popped up I've never seen before, beat my incumbents by pricing by quite a bit. So I love hearing stories like that all the time. And lastly, I'll just share, ultimately reducing those public bid and contracting life cycles, leading to quicker enablement on those critical county projects. I hear stories all the time, unfortunately, I don't want to call them out by name, but agencies in Texas sharing sometimes they'll get 0 responses or 1, leading them to start over the bid process again, prolonging those project life cycles. So that really that needs to be improved. Takes a lot longer than maybe it should have if you get a 0 to 1 response. So that's what we do. Of course, lastly, mitigate legal risk with our robust contract management solution as well. So that's all I wanted to share. Before I pass the time over to Kat to give a high-level overview. Any questions from anyone?
Lucas, I don't understand exactly the reason why, if manual bids were producing 3 or 4 vendors to response, what makes someone under this software program now have a larger vendor field to? Is it because they're subscribers to your software?
That's a good question. We maintain and have our own vendor network that we're constantly improving. So what Kat's going to show here is any vendor can sign up for us to register and work with any of our customers for free across the country. So we maintain our own vendor pool. Anytime an agency partners with us, they get access to that vendor pool. So yes, we do have our own subscribers.
So rather than, I guess, just whoever sees it in the paper, who we send it out to, any of the 100 different entities that might have subscribed to that are getting it then?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, one great question. With that, of course, we welcome more questions. I'll pass the time over to Kat. If I can successfully stop sharing my screen. We're a Microsoft Teams company over here, so let me see if I can figure this out.
This is actually part of the presentation, is testing your flexibility and adaptability.
Oh man, I'm feeling miserably right now.
Well, a question, do you receive the responses and vet them or list them, or do they come back to us? How does the process work?
Great question. So in the event you partner with us on the sourcing component, you get your own portal, which Kat's going to showcase here a little bit, to where those responses will come to you electronically. You have the option to allow them to still respond physically if you want to grant some kind of ramp up period, give your vendors time to get used to it, but ultimately they will respond electronically. You can still give them the physical optionality if you want.
So people do both, Lucas. Even though that vendors may come in through the portal here, there are instances where manually we could still take bids or open bids manually, even though we have the electronic version.
So you got a local
You
guy
can
and he wants
speak to
to
that
handle
better than me, but correct. You have options.
Yes, absolutely. You're able to receive those bids manually, and you can simply upload them into the system and continue to use the system just as though they had replied or they had responded electronically over the network.
And you can set a time to open the bids in court, so you cannot access the bids until you set that
That was
time.
the question I was gonna ask, so we can set it up where all of our bids actually go to this portal
Mhm.
and not do a manual exception. They can go, that would be in our published document,
Yes.
that they would have to go to this portal.
We could if we
And
wanted to.
then that way, everything's there, that we don't have inadvertent openings like we've
Right.
encountered in the past and had to scrap a project.
Yeah, we
Yes,
could
sir.
do that. And she
Correct.
said
If you see my screen now, you cannot actually you can't actually view the bids until the solicitation is closed. And at that point, then someone with permission would be able to go in and unlock the bids here, and they would go into the audit trail as the one who unlocked the bids for that solicitation.
And then, Kat, let's say there's a bid, we go out for road materials, how long is that information at our disposal, stored within the software?
Forever, unless you tell us otherwise. We never get rid of your data.
How's,
So,
oh, excuse me, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna go into my little spiel, so feel
Okay.
free to ask a question.
Well, let me ask a question on that. So we could set up a retaining schedule based on the Texas retaining laws or regulations on those bid
You
documents?
You can set up a retainer, yes.
Okay, so we could purge the documents automatically after 5 years if that's the schedule on those.
If that's what you wanna do, no problem, yes,
Okay, great.
yes.
Is
So
this,
you'd be able to go in and kind of see everything, in a dashboard here,
Mhm.
and kind of track everything that you have out or closed or that kind of thing. And you'd always be able to, create a new solicitation. You could also clone an existing solicitation if you'd like. So if you have one that's already been out that you want to use again, you can do that. And if you do partner with us, you will also get access to the solicitation library, where you'll be able to find examples from your peers for anything that you may not have gone out to bid before yet with. So you can use those documents as reference as well.
is
And
this,
so,
is the service priced on a set fee on the volume of bids or on the overall price of how is it billed?
It's a fixed recurring cost. It does not vary up or down depending on your usage or users. It's a flat fee regardless of number of users and volume.
Is it like an annual deal?
Correct.
Okay.
Kat, why don't you run through your presentation and then we can continue. with
sure,
questions.
absolutely, yes. So you're able to go in and create these solicitations here in the system. And once you do that, of course, you can monitor them here, but when you get those, when you actually go out to publish them to the network, it will of course get posted to the network. It will also go to your transparency page that we call, which is, here's the example from North Central Texas COG. And you can see that all of their open, closed, awarded solicitations are all listed here. You can also choose to publish your bids. That would show up as another tab. If you want any publicly facing contracts, you can also publish them here. So everyone will be able to see that here. The COG actually directs their purchasing users or suppliers over to MidNet Direct, and so that they can go in and register or log in to see any opportunities. Of course, they will also automatically get notified of any opportunities So that's kind of that like transparency page that you'll get. And then of course, you'll get your responses back. And when you do, you'll have an opportunity to go through an evaluation process. But if you have more of a bid situation, right, and you just want to compare prices of items side by side, you can do that here as well in our system. You can see each bidder and award them at the solicitation level or by category or subcategory. This medal will show you the lowest price for each particular item that you have here, and you can even split up the award if you want to give a certain portion of the quantity to one supplier or another. So that's one of your pricing options. You can also do a lump sum or an attachment. There's a lot of different ways that you can receive that pricing back. And then of course, once that award has been decided, you can see that you can create a contract directly from that award. So that will pull in a lot of that award information into that draft contract for you. This is our contracts dashboard, right? So that contract can either be created here from the button or from that link in the solicitation award where you're pulling that in. And you can, of course, there's going to be email notifications, but you can also track of any kinds of dates or activities in this calendar view. So you're able to see what's upcoming and get an at a glance picture of what's coming up. And of course you can drill into any day and see what's coming up and select that item to view. So once you create that contract, right, in our system, you'll go in and create it here. You have some fields to fill out. And what we can do with the information on that screen is push it into the contract template that you will have pulled into your draft contract. And you'll be able to go in and work on that contract as a team, right? You can do it collaboratively, internally, and externally, right? So a couple things to note here, by being able to collaborate in this very Word-like environment, our customers find that the cycle time for getting that contract in effect is a lot lower. And in addition, it reduces risk because of the fact that that supplier will go in to make any change to this contract in the system, and it'll capture whatever they change. And so you'll be able to see anything, if they change a shall to a should, you'll see that in the system, right? Because it will come back. Then we can go through e-signatures and have an executed contract. So that's kind of the Reader's Digest version, if you will, of our solution functionality. Being able to keep that all in one place and very audit friendly and FOIA friendly reporting and exports, so that you'll always have that information at your fingertips. Any questions there?
It's taking on two sides a very manual process right now on the purchasing side for bids and preparation, and on the contract side afterwards, the drafting of them, the back and forth that Melvin and I do largely on that, and then a completely manual process that Morgan does as far as getting those all recorded, keeping the calendar to make sure that we're on top of when stuff's coming up. It's taking what are all right now manual processes and automating them and providing more immediate at a glance usage, and honestly allowing extra tools on that in addition to opening up the vendor list and doing that. So the question that's obvious that I don't think's come up yet is, what is the cost?
Yeah, your county auditor, Matt, has 2 quotes in hand. I'm sure he'll be discussing with you. I should have had them ready, but basically I gave him 2 options, depending on what your priorities are. It sounds like you still need to talk it out internally. Gave a quote just for our standalone CLM solution that you're looking at right now, and then a quote for our full solution that you just saw today, Source plus contract. He has both of those in hand right now.
Yep. So we are able to get a discount through their software through the DIR co-op, And so the annual year one cost would be $24,600. And then the one-time implementation fee for that first year would be $14,850. So for a total cost of $39,450. That is just the contract management side. Year two would be $25,830, and year three would be $27,121.50. Lucas provided us a discount on the bundle, and so if we went with the contract management and the bidding options, which I will note that the bidding option is integrated with Munis. Their system already communicates with Tyler Technologies, so if we went that route, then it would bring the bids into Tyler Munis. That first year cost is $33,258.75. The one-time implementation price goes up a little bit to $19,975. So year one would be a total cost of $53,233.75. Year two would be $34,921.69, and year three would be $36,667.77.
Okay. Well, I think that what, oh, you about to say something?
Well, I had additional outside the cost factor questions here on the solicitations that Tana has to do for publications in local paper that we're going to be, I'm assuming this goes both ways, not only the purchase of, but it could be the selling of, correct?
You mean like a selling?
Like, let's say Tanya has 100 desk chairs she wants to sell. Can that page do the same thing?
No, we don't offer something like that in our solution.
Okay, and then, but the publication portion of it, it's not handled because of what we develop here. We would still need to go and do that separately.
Yeah, because we'd still have the newspaper requirement we'd have to do.
Yes.
And we'd have to do that manually still.
But
Okay.
the link would be on our website to go to our dashboard to see what all we have open for bids.
Okay.
Until the legislature does away with the newspaper requirement, we're still gonna have to.
Okay, and then what about bid meetings or where we would have a designated day for questions and answers? How's the portal accommodating to those vendors that want to participate, and do we do it with an online function, or is that something that's done virtually through another site?
So you can indicate that when you post your solicitation. So if you go in and indicate that there's a pre-bidding event that's mandatory, for example, or recommended, you can say, hey, we're gonna have a conference on this date. And if it is mandatory, the suppliers will see in red lettering, right, that there's a mandatory pre-bidding event. That's typically how that's put into the bidding process.
And so, but is that managed? I mean, is the site virtual, or we do it outside the site? The portal doesn't really accommodate that?
Yeah, you would do it outside of the system.
Okay.
Sometimes, there will be a request for, acknowledgement beforehand, so you can have them attach proof that they joined the conference and acknowledge that before they would go in to be able to place a bid.
Okay.
So the portal is not gonna be a place where if we had a construction project and we had a time for asking questions for clarification, that wouldn't come through the portal, that would come outside.
It would come outside if you were doing that in one big meeting, but it is important to note that suppliers can submit questions to you over the portal.
Okay,
So they'd be able to do that, and then you can also indicate a specific deadline for to what date you'll receive those questions.
okay.
And then you can post the answers through an addendum, with, one click in our system.
So that
be
could,
able to answer those and put them back, yeah.
that could be part of our bid document to say that all questions must come through the portal between this date and that date. And
Absolutely,
When they're
yes.
logged.
that way they're logged correctly and. And I guess other vendors could still see those questions then.
Yes, sir.
And does
Once you publish that.
Yeah.
Once, okay.
and so the main document, would it actually be revised? So let's say it's what Mark's talking about, and it's a contractor meeting, and we see that there's a need to add additional language within the current bid specs. Does that then, we go back and change that so that they know, or is that separate and apart? How is that, how does a vendor know that, hey, there's been a change to the bid document?
Sure, so you would be able to do that through the addendum process, and all the suppliers who got automatically notified would be automatically notified that there's an addendum.
Gotcha. And then, for example, on the bid, to review these bids, let's say if we're talking about paper towels and trash can bags and things like that, relatively easy concept of comparing and matching. But let's say we're having proposals on a health plan for the county where those documents could be hundreds of pages each. How do that people go in, open those documents, print off those documents and read them? How does
AI, baby.
is that,
Sure, yeah.
that's my question, is AI assisting in this endeavor?
AI functionality is up and coming, so we'll probably be looking at Q2 next year for our AI functionality. It's in development now. But in the meantime, what a lot of our customers will do is specify the bid documents that are required from the supplier. So that way, instead of getting one 300-page document, you're getting several individual documents that are making sure that they're meeting all the requirements, including all the information, a lot fewer problems with incomplete bids. And then you can also set up multiple envelopes, right? So I have that first envelope with the technical piece and pricing in the second envelope. And when you go through then to review these responses, you'd be able to look at these individual documents or the pricing whenever that time was right.
And then I think to your question on, like, each of the commissioners would have a login that you could get into the portal for that project.
Okay.
See all of the documents,
Yeah.
compare them, and look at it that way.
Yeah,
And
you'd
then-
be able to download or print them
Yeah.
from this
Yes.
portal.
Brings up the question that the price includes all the licenses necessary for anyone that would need this system within the county? Or is it a limited number of licenses?
I can answer that. So on the source component, you're looking at the e-bidding, it's unlimited, period. On the contract management, there's 5 full users. Now what that means, anybody that can create a contract or anybody that can change background settings. There's still a limited bucket of viewers, contract managers, approvers, signers, etc. is unlimited. It's just restricted to those who can create a contract or change the settings.
Okay.
Okay. I think, and we've got both Lucas and Kat contact information. If y'all think of other specific questions that you have in the meantime, they're very helpful. And I think they have a 2-hour demonstration they can give for you if you want to participate in that. They did a great job. I asked them to keep it to 15 minutes or less today. So yeah, they'll be happy to answer questions, and we can evaluate what we want to do on this. Any last questions for them? All right. Both of y'all, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Judge, I don't wanna get to the point where you don't have to read in the prices for the.
You know,
paper goods.
when they said you used to get 3 or 4, now you can get 9 or 10, I thought, well, Barry will like that I have to read 10 different things for janitorial supplies.
I don't wanna give that up. in this
Okay.
contract, no.
All right, thank y'all very much. Item number 3 is discussion regarding the potential purchase of Maintain X software for the maintenance department. Did y'all coordinate on this today?
We tried.
All right, and I'm not sure who we've got here. It looks like Mac and Britt. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we'll, do you want me to just turn it over to them, Ricky? Do you want to introduce this, or?
Yeah, I'll kind of introduce it, and
Okay.
then we'll turn it over to them. Neat image right there.
Whoa.
So I was looking for some software to where when people are putting in service calls for the maintenance department, that there's a good way to track it and there's checks and balances. So right now, y'all know the process where you send an email to all maintenance and housekeeping, and then that email gets pulled in and then given to someone to take care of it. This doesn't stop all the people in the halls in passing saying, hey, hey, hey. So anyway, so there's the maintenance calls that come in regularly. There's scheduled maintenance for equipment, filters, washing systems, things like that. There's building inspections that gotta be done routinely that need to be planned on. So we just don't have a proper system to plan those types of things. So that's where I was looking in various places and trying to find something that would serve our needs and that was reasonable. So that's the other part. So that's when I come across Maintain X and looked through their software. We did a presentation, or they did a presentation with me, and I said, well, let's take it to the court and talk to them. To me, it seems like a good product, but you know, that's what you gentlemen decide. So this is Mac, so he'll kind of go from here.
I'll add that we spent a lot of money in these facilities over the last several years, and we've stepped up the maintenance game. We wanna keep up with that maintenance and not miss any required maintenances, any required inspections, which we were negligent in the past sometimes on our maintenance, so we're not anymore. This is one way we can control that.
It could help, for sure.
All right, Mac, I'll turn it over to you, and I'll ask the same 15-minute time limit or less. If you can keep it to it, we would appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us and giving us the opportunity to present Maintain X. We'll do just some quick introductions from our team. My name is Mac. I'm the account executive here. My role is to help companies throughout the evaluation process of Maintain X, and our goal here today is to make sure that you folks feel 100% confident with our system. And I'm joined by my colleague Britt. I'll let her introduce herself.
Thanks, Mac. My name is Britt Williams. I am a solutions consultant on the team. My role is really just to understand what are the needs, what are the challenges, where does Maintain X fit, and then I think just as importantly, where does it not? I do a lot of our demonstrations, and I'll be delivering the demonstration today. Thanks.
Thank you, Britt. I'll share my screen for the agenda. We had planned for an hour-long meeting originally, so that's why you see a lot of items here. But we'll try to keep this for like 15-20 minutes to keep with the schedule. So what I'll kind of go through here today would be just kind of an overview on Maintain X, maybe briefly the value that we provide, and then Britt will be walking us through the demo right after. So I'll skip through a couple of slides here. Looking at more than just software partner that you can trust, kind of a background on Maintain X. We're an American company. We've got offices in San Francisco, Raleigh, as well as in Montreal. We've been around for about 7 years now. In that time, we've gained amazing traction and became the leading maintenance platform in the market. We're now supporting over 13,000 customers and over 1 million users that use our system. What sets us apart is really how much our customers love the product. We're top rated across all major third-party review sites. We've got thousands more reviews and better ratings than any other maintenance system in the market. And perhaps the most important stats, 98% retention rate, shows that customers that come to Maintain X adopt it and continue to renew as they do find it to be a valuable platform. And we do take a lot of pride in that piece. Wanted to share with you some logos of counties that trust Maintain X with their operations. We do work with several counties in Texas already, so just wanted to kind of bring that to your attention as well. Any kind of questions on the company background?
No, sir.
Awesome. All right, Brett, I'll pass it over to you with the demo.
Sounds great. I'll start sharing my screen here. All right, can everybody see this? Perfect. Okay. So for the demonstration today, I really want to focus on showing you how we can capture information in these different requests really easily. So we'll look at that request intake. We'll explore how different contractors, technicians, facility teams can execute what can maintain X. And then we'll talk about asset tracking and reporting. So if you have any questions throughout, please feel free to ask, and we'll run through this pretty quickly. All right, so to kick us off with request intake, I'm gonna actually start in our mobile platform. So MaintainX is really a mobile-first platform for capturing information, completing work orders, procedures, and let me actually, you should be seeing my mobile device. So I'm actually on my cell phone right now. What's really powerful about this is as you have different tenants, different people across your teams that need to submit these requests, we can easily capture them via mobile. So they don't have to go back to a desktop to go and log in and do this. I'll go ahead and create a new request. Now this could be done through a QR code. We can scan a code right there. We also have request portals, so they don't even have to have a login to be able to do this. And we have unlimited free requesters. We're gonna, in this case, create a request. And what I've done is I created a draft to speed this up because I knew that we would have a shorter amount of time. But what you can see here is this request is saying that, hey, this building, this facility is not cooling. I went ahead and added a picture. You can actually annotate these pictures to show specifically what is going on and make it even easier, adding in those descriptions. And you can add additional information around here. And I'll go ahead and click create. So it's that simple to go in and create a request and add it in. Once you create that request, then it's gonna move to the request portal. So in this case, I'm gonna go back over here and we're gonna go into the desktop view of MaintainX. Here I can see all of the different requests. So when you have that request submitted, you might be submitting it to housekeeping, you might be submitting it to maintenance. And I'm gonna see what of those were submitted to my teams. So this is how that request will get routed. And from here, I can easily go in, see the different requests that are coming through. Let me just do a quick refresh. So we can see the different requests that are coming through. Building A isn't cooling. So I'm gonna be able to take that request. Now in this case, I didn't have it assigned, but we can go in and assign that request, edit that request as needed. And I'm gonna go ahead and approve it. Once I approve that request, we'll see it's creating a new work order. So it's allowing me to go in, and as simple as this, go and create this work order. This is where I could go in and have a location, an asset assigned, add a procedure if I want. But again, we can keep this just as simple as we want it. We can add a lot of different information in here, but this is just to make it really easy for different teams. And different, let's say I'm part of the maintenance team, maybe I am an individual user, I can go ahead and get that signed out. So I'll create that. And we now have a work order in place. So we have a work order submitted, a work order created, and we have it assigned in just like a couple minutes. Now let's talk about how we execute work. So from here, I'm gonna actually go back over to my mobile app. Let's say I am a maintenance technician and I am kicking off the day at 6 a.m. I'm looking at what do I need to work on. From here, I already have that assigned. So as I scroll down in my app, I'm able to see, hey, this building isn't cooling. So I can grab this work order and I can start to take action. In this case, I'm gonna go ahead and start my timer. And this is gonna feed into our reporting. This is really important because this is gonna impact the cost. How much cost is it taking to work on this asset and complete the work order? I can go down here and see what tools do I need? What information, what parts are needed on here? I can take this asset offline to capture what's my downtime around this asset if needed, and we can start the procedure. The procedure is gonna act like a checklist. So I can say, hey, what's going on around here? Now an asset like an HVAC unit, safety and compliance is really huge. So being able to standardize these procedures and safety steps for things like proper PPE, or being able to verify like, hey, this is exactly what we want to work on. This machine or this piece of equipment has no power running to it. It's really important. And we can set it up to where with field logic, we can't complete other steps until this is done. We can add photos, have different tasks that we're checking off. We can see different descriptions. You can add in pictures and diagrams into here to make it even easier. So next I'll go in and I have all of this checked off. We can enter in meters. So if you're tracking how many hours you're using on this, different meters around maintenance, we can capture that as well. And then we can say, do we want to flag this or pass it? And I'm going to mark this as flag for a reason, and that we'll see in a minute. We can also capture signatures. So again, being able to see who's working on what, when it happened, getting those sign-offs, that's really critical across the board here. I'll go ahead and mark this as complete. And in this case, we can have those required fields, but for time's sake, I'm just going to mark this as done. But it's going to stop us. If we have them required, it's not going to let you move on until those required fields were completed. We can capture a summary to say, hey, how did this go? And it's going to feed into our work order history. And I'm going to mark this as done. Once this is marked completed, if one of our inspections fails, it's going to automatically create a corrective action for us. So this is where we can go ahead and create that. In this case, because maybe there was something that happened here, I can go ahead and take this offline. But with a few clicks, going through that work order, I'm able to capture all the information around here. I have everything that I need in the palm of my hand, and I'm able to complete this work order, updating the status, and go ahead and saying, hey, I'm taking this off because we need to fix it. So we have all of that all right here. I'm not having to run back to my computer, run back to my phone to call somebody or to a tablet to say, hey, what do I need to do next? It's all right here. All right. Any questions? I know I'm running through this pretty quickly. We've run through a lot already. Any questions on what we've seen so far?
Nope, keep going.
Okay, perfect. All right, so now that we talked about kind of that reactive, I do want to mention when it comes to preventative maintenance, when you have assets set up in here, we have, let me scroll over back into our desktops. I'm kind of switching between the two. As a technician, I might only be on my phone. I might only be working in there, but as a team that maybe as a maintenance manager and I'm setting this up, I might come into here and say, okay, I want to create preventative maintenance around specific assets. So you can set up work orders on a schedule based off the preventative maintenance that's needed. Let's go in and check out the different assets that we have. We have these different assets. Here's a library across the board. And let's go into, we'll click on an asset here really quickly though. You'll see we can see our asset status. So just at a glance, we can know what's going on across these status, what's the criticality, what different type of assets we have. We even have barcode or UP or QR code scanning. So we can put a QR code on an asset. So with that mobile app, you can use that QR code to pull up requests, to pull up and see work order history and things like that. Let's go into an asset here. This is that HVAC unit that we just used in our last work order. From here, I can scroll down and we can see that this asset has different files attached to it, so different manuals, different procedures that might be associated. Here's that QR code. We can see the warranty end date. All of the data around these assets, even sub-assets associated to them, we're capturing here, so we have that hierarchy. Parts associated with them. Everything that we need is right here, and something that's really important and valuable. When we're looking at these different assets, when we scroll down, we even have all of the history at our fingertips, so we can see what are we doing with this asset, what's happened in the past. So we have all of that data that's feeding right in. And again, we have all this at our fingertips. Any questions on the asset tracking?
You enter all those individual systems in when you're setting the deal up? I mean, how do you get them into the system? Like
Yeah, that's
air
a great
conditioning
question.
units and all this other stuff that we have to deal with, elevators, I guess, Rick, all the stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So One of the things Mac was planning on covering, and I think he might still have some time to touch on it, is implementation. So we would partner with you, but we have ways to bring this data in bulk. We can capture information, upload it in, but a lot of times we're working with you, so you're not having to go and, our implementation team will not only work with you, but they'll do it for you and bring this data in, so you're not having to do that all on your own. But it is very easy to go and bring this information in. We have, one thing I will mention, we do have the ability to have, our AI co-pilot automate a lot of that as well. When it's bringing in, looking across manuals, setting up different preventative maintenance. If you have preventative maintenance schedules, we can also upload and import those in as well too.
Probably warranty information is important, because I worry sometimes that'll slip by you if you're not careful. You'll be getting out to the end of a warranty deal on a major component, and you just can't keep that at the top of your head all the time. So I would think that'd be an important part of this.
Definitely, yes. So with warranties, manuals, all of that data is captured in here, and then there's a lot of different ways to view it. So not only can you view asset information here as we're looking at these assets, you can even customize like what's valuable for you to see and what do you want to bring here. So I had warranty end date, but you have the ability and the flexibility to go and bring in what are those data points that are important. You can surface it here, filter it. Another way to look across assets and everything that's going on within the system is reporting. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I heard a question. So another way is to look at this reporting. And I can see here across our work orders what's completed versus not, different types of work orders that we have here. And you can tag these different work orders as well. One of the things that you mentioned, I believe, was understanding you spend a lot of money on maintenance. Understanding where's that money going is really important. So I can click on our time and cost report. And in this case, I have it filtered down so I can see this across different assets. Where are we spending that money? When we have assets, maybe I want to look up total cost. How much time are we spending on these different assets? And so you're going to be able to get data points around there and visualize it. Is this helpful to see? Maybe?
Yes.
Okay,
So-
perfect.
So-
And I think one of the great things, one last comment, is that when it comes to data, we have a lot of different reports. We even have custom dashboards that you can create to surface the KPIs that are important to you. Now, these are out of the box best practice charts and graphs and things like that to give you data that we know is really valuable. But when it comes to reporting, data out is only as good as that data in. And I think one of the things that really makes MaintainX shine is just how easy our platform is to use. So we looked a little bit about requesters, how easy it is to submit a request. We looked at completing those work orders. It is simple as picking up your mobile app, going to that work order that you need to work on. You're not having to call somebody and figure it out, right? It's right there, and it just takes you through it so easily. That's what makes this data so valuable. It's populating in real time, it's giving you that visibility, and you're not having to wonder, is somebody going back and updating information into a system? So hopefully this was helpful to see. One other call out I do want to mention, this is on our, it is a cloud-based platform. All of the data is captured in here. It makes it really easy so you can quickly jump in and get started without having to jump through a bunch of hoops with IT typically. So it just is really easy to use. I know I covered a lot in a very short amount of time, but I will pass it over to Mac to wrap us up.
We've got
If
one
there's no-
question.
Just real quick question, so we have, let's say an RT rooftop unit that we've had done maintenance on 10 times in the year and it's costing us X. Is there a way that something that's having a lot of maintenance, a lot of reports, that it's flagged automatically so we can see at the end of the year we're spending way too much money on that it maybe need to be replaced? Or-
Definitely, yes. So we're capturing data around really your most problematic assets. You can also look at unplanned downtime, not just the plan. I think sometimes it's really important to understand when it comes to preventative maintenance, maybe are you over scheduling too many preventative maintenance work orders on certain things. So giving you that insight is really valuable. We're able to surface that and then help you make those decisions around depreciation, warranties. What does it make sense to go and just replace certain units versus, keep investing, putting the money in if you know it's already costing you so much.
So it'll help you with the depreciation factors on our big ticket items, our big RTUs and air handlers, et cetera.
Correct.
Yeah, we can keep track of how much you've spent on those items and pull reports. Brett, if you go back to that previous screen with the cost reporting.
Yes.
Actually,
sorry.
Work order is right on top, yeah.
On
Right
that,
here.
Yeah, and if we scroll down a little bit more, yeah, there we go, time and cost reports. If you just click on that one. And then we're back on that asset list, giving us how much we've spent over that 3 months period that we're looking at. And we have also another report for like the failures that we've encountered too. So we can kind of put those together and make the that information visible.
Mac, on that particular item, just like you're talking about here, in counties that you're familiar with or in programs that you're familiar with, Ricky, in our instance, would be reporting the work and documenting the work done. But then within the next 30 to 45 days, the invoices roll in. Who's putting that information into the system, and how are they staying in tune with Ricky to keep him out of their office all the time, identifying where the invoices go?
Yeah, invoices to your customers, basically.
Invoices to the air conditioner that you've been on the roof 10 times in the last 4 months, and those invoices roll in. Who is putting that information back into your maintenance reporting software? In our instance, it would come from our auditor's office, receives that information, but they would not know that Ricky's been up to the jail rooftop 10 times to work on an air conditioner and to record it to that specific asset.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry,
Can I jump in there, Matt? Yeah, so when we were looking at that work order and I started tracking the time, now that work order is associated to the assets. We know where that asset is located, and it is also starting the timer. So that is allowing us to see a lot of this data. So when, I think you said Ricky is up there working, he's gonna start that timer. We're gonna know exactly how much time he spent working on it. We're gonna be able to see if that asset's offline, how much time that asset was down. All the data from the work orders, from the reporting, or all the data from the work orders is feeding into this reporting in real time. So that's what's informing a lot of this. If you have another system for invoices, so if you're using like an ERP system, I'm not sure what you might be using for that today, we do have an open REST API where we have a lot of different customers that say, hey, we want to take this information and we actually want to feed it into those other systems or have certain data points fed back. So we do have the ability to set up different integrations. Depending on what they are, we would talk to you about that as far as feeding into that other team that might be doing reporting or invoicing.
So we'll not directly be able to calculate the cost. So if we replace the compressor, we're not putting the compressor cost in directly.
I believe Ricky would like to say something.
I think I can answer your question, Jeff. I have to approve all the invoices. So when that invoice comes to me, then I'm gonna take that information and put it on that asset.
You would have to do that?
Yeah.
It'd have to be a manual
It
upload.
would
I
have to
second
be
that.
a manual input.
Yeah, what?
I know,
He seconds the motion.
But it's gonna have to come from me, because once again, I have to approve all the invoices that are done from them before they pay them. So then from there, it goes into the system.
Now I have a question. Does every building owned by the county would be in the system? Every property,
Eventually.
That all depends. I mean, it could.
I mean,
Yeah.
so all jail tickets would flow through this also?
It could.
It would be, if you're gonna utilize it, you're gonna use it for
It could.
historical data.
Yeah, I think you would want to grow
were gonna
into
do
that.
Yeah.
I think it would be overwhelming to,
Yeah.
Rick will
They
be
have
nothing
one
but
that
in the
own-
office.
We're doing it something in the jail, but not to this extent, but they'll track all their work
Right.
orders and they know what they're
I think it
fixing,
makes
but
sense to put that building on it as well,
we would.
but that would be up to your maintenance folks to manage.
I think that's something else the auditor's office should do.
I mean, we know the auditor offices be the best data entry
So-
point for the county.
Sorry.
So-
Let's, go ahead, Mark.
I move to
Question, a
table.
broad question, so we recognize halfway through the year that we need to replace an air handler, for instance. And we put that as a capital project for the next year. Is there a way to track that we've already recognized this, we've scheduled it for next year to be replaced? Is there a way to put that within the system?
I can take that one. Yeah, so within the platform, you can add notes on like the assets. You can change the asset status that it's, to be replaced, for example. Within the asset description, there can be a note added that there is a plan to replace this within the next year, for example, so that next time there is a big capital expenditure, you might make a decision to maybe replace it ahead of time before going ahead and making the spend. So within the asset itself, within the asset page that Britt showed us earlier, that's where you'd be able to add in that information as well. And if it is something that you want to schedule on, let's say, the calendar, you can also create a work order in the future, let's say, 6 months from now, when you actually plan to do that replacement.
Yeah.
That way it's actually booked in the calendar that event will occur in 6 months.
So we could pull a report to give us all the things that we identified to put into a capital improvement for the following year. So that typically happens, we'll go through and we don't have the money set aside to replace a full air handler this year. We can make it limp by to the next year. So we'll program it to be replaced the following year. So if I set it up for replacement, I could go in halfway through the year and look at everything I have set for replacement.
If you put it as a status on the let's say an asset, or you add like a field on the asset, we support custom fields, and you
Okay.
say it's up for replacement, for example, and you can filter by it. That way you can see anything that's within that status, within the list of assets that you have.
Okay.
Then that would be one way that you'd be able to look at it, and then you
Okay.
have the option to, let's say, export it to Excel or
Okay.
print it out if need be, etc.
That would be helpful for me, so.
Okay, we're, good questions, we're long over our time, but Mac, did you have some other things that you wanted to present after Britt's presentation?
Yeah, I mean, if we have the time, did want to maybe walk us through the implementation schedule and the pricing. I can go a little bit over from my side. I know Britt has to she has another meeting to attend, but if the court has the time to kind of go through these two items, I can go through them. If those are not needed for today, we can also wrap up.
I mean, pricing and implementation matter, so,
Yeah.
so yes, go ahead.
Britt, thank you.
Awesome. I'll kind of share my screen. Perfect. So looking at the value of implementing a CMMS, just kind of a quick recap here. We've done over 3,000 implementation projects, 98% adoption rate. That's a success rate that we see from our customers. 4.8 is the satisfaction from our customers based on a survey that we send out after each implementation. So we're very confident in our implementations team's ability to successfully implement your county. For the timeline, we're very prompt to get you set up with the system. It takes about 3 weeks to get the system set up. Having said that, that's not kind of a hard timeline. Obviously, if you folks need additional time to maybe collect the data, etc., we'll work with you on that, but that's typically how long it actually takes if you have the data available. It starts with a kickoff meeting. We'll connect you with one of our implementation consultants. They'll meet with you. They'll ask you to provide your data, that list of assets, warranty end dates that we talked about, list of locations, or any other pertinent information that you want to include in the system. The second week, we'll have the data uploaded. They'll meet with you to kind of review and make sure that it looks and functions the way you expect it to. And then on a weekly basis from there, have that weekly check-in and make sure everything's kind of built as to the way you'd like it to function. And then within about 3 weeks is when we expect to reach the go live stage. Within that period, your team would also be going through the training of MaintainX as well. Any questions on implementation?
Nope.
Awesome. And then beyond the implementation, just want to also cover the level of support that you folks can expect from us. So that second item is the implementation team, but beyond that, you also have access to 24 hours technical support. Within the past year, the average response time has been 2 to 3 minutes. That's the time it takes to connect you with like a real person. And anyone from the team can reach out to our support team, whether it's the technicians, even requesters. They all can reach out if they're having any issue or having any let's say, questions. In addition to that, you do have a dedicated account manager that helps any account-related questions from your team as well. And then we do have also a lot of content in terms of like trainings, support library. We also host webinars on a bi-weekly basis, talking about topics on maintenance, and also releasing a lot of new functions on an ongoing basis. We're also training our customers on how to best utilize those new functions.
All right. Talk dollars to us.
Say that again, sir?
Talk dollars to us.
Dollars, yeah, let's do it. Pricing. So our pricing is based on the number of users that will be utilizing the system. So it's on a per user basis. Having said that, the requester users are free. So anyone who's submitting work requests into the platform, there's no fee associated to it. What we charge for would be an administrator, someone like Ricky, as well as anyone who's assigned work orders, so like your technicians, etc. So based on previous conversations, we're looking at a number between 12 to 14. So based on that number, we used 14 here. The cost per user per year is $780. So if we were to go with 14 users, we're looking at $10,920 for the subscription. Obviously, if it's 12, then it'll be a little bit less. And then there would be a one-time fee for implementation. That would be $2,500. So for your first year total, we're looking at about $13,420. And then on an ongoing basis from there, it would be just the subscription fee.
Okay.
Cheaper than contract management.
Yeah. We'll let the beneficiaries of each one we've had today just find out who wins gets. Anything else, Mac, on that front?
That's all from us. I know we kind of went through it pretty quickly, so open to any questions, or if there are any specific workflows you'd like me to kind of cover, more than happy to do so. But I really tried to kind of stay within the time frame or limited time frame that we've had here to present.
Well, and just like with the previous one, anyone that has questions can ask offline as well. Any questions for the group before we wrap up this one?
Thank you very much.
Mac, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day, and thanks for listening to us.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
We're gonna need a software package to keep track of our software.
See, that's why we did the first one first.
Yeah.
We can manage it.
Well, I've got a question, and with Matt. Right now, Matt, if, let's say the far corner of the roof of the courthouse that had an air conditioner on it, do you know the asset number to that air conditioner?
No, sir.
But does Munis have the capability of giving you that unit number, regurgitating it to you and say, you've spent $5,000 on unit 3?
Yep. And that's why I would like to see
Should
if they could communicate in terms of the QR code. I was gonna ask Ricky. But if they said that they work with ERP systems, so if we can get that QR code to work on both systems, then it's gonna come over and you'll be able to see the maintenance cost on both systems for that specific unit.
Should not
And
our air handlers, et
identifying
cetera, be a part of the GASB report?
They're part of the capital assets, yes,
So,
but they're not easily identifiable.
Yeah.
They're just,
We have them all.
yeah,
just, yeah.
Identifying those units consistently through the deal is key to making this
So
valuable to us.
it,
The
And
ones at LEC are identify
And-
RTA, you know, RTU A03, A04.
if we put a
Right.
QR sticker on
Right.
now, we know the asset, we know its depreciation level.
Yep.
Yeah,
And it would be a more accurate accounting for GASB purposes.
yes, sir.
That
Did
way,
you-
once it reaches its depreciated value, then it's time to replace.
you're gonna find the
Yeah.
time when you
Yeah.
really can track this, that we spent $15,000 this year maintaining a unit that would cost 10,000 to replace.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna
I
find
just
that.
don't want us to
That's
have
where the
to
value is.
hire an assistant maintenance director in order to
No.
satisfy all the work the system's requiring to
That's
do.
that's always my concern on this stuff.
And having those units identified and very specific as to what that is, not just everything on the roof on the east side. I mean, that wouldn't do you much good. It wouldn't.
Rick, you
Any-
had a specific
Yeah.
reason for going out and looking for this. From what I know from you, that was all kind of secondary, tertiary. Your main function on initially looking for this was helping with tracking of tickets, getting work orders done, helping communicate with staff and employees. Was that, wasn't it?
Right, I mean, that was the primary goal.
Yeah.
And because this is such a big package, you know, it can be as smart as we want it to be.
Right.
Or it can be as dumb as we want it to be, and it's only gonna be as smart as the information we put into it.
That's
So,
exactly what I was gonna say.
You know, if it's gonna be a deal that we're gonna spend 5 hours a day on every day, and we're gonna make it as brilliant, and we'll know every aspect of our county assets and maintenance, then we can do that. Or we can utilize what we need initially, and then just build up and make it smarter for us. So I guess that's kind of the best way I could explain that.
Yeah, I mean, and this is no different. ClearGov, we had a limited rollout of it this first year to take use of it. What we'll do next year will be more. It's a similar deal if you grow into it or you decide it's not worth it, and there's always more capability in this stuff than we use it for.
Yeah, the biggest, or what I see the most valuable initially is being able to get information from the user to us, or the person who has a need to us, and for me to get it to the people that can help them, and that we have a way of tracking and knowing it's getting done.
Because right now, what's your tracking system?
Hey man, did you take care of that? It's like, yeah, I had an instance where I had some lights out,
Yeah.
a few bulbs out on a third floor stairwell. So I asked one of my guys, hey man, go to the third floor stairwell. Well, there's 3 third floor stairwells, and one of them was flickering. Did you take care of it? Yeah man, I got it. Okay, great. Then I get a call a week and a half later, or email, saying, well, that's not done, somebody almost tripped and blah, 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 you know, it's like, come on, man. And sure enough, there was another stairwell. So it's just being able to isolate things and getting things narrowed down to where we know they're getting taken care of, and we're just not leaving stuff behind. And I can't remember, unfortunately, as much as I used to.
Did I understand her to say that you could incorporate even the manuals? into
Yeah,
that?
sounds like AI will bring those manuals
Which would
into
be
it.
comparable to that kitchen drawer I've got that's got all that stuff stuffed in
I-
it.
There
That
you
we don't have anymore.
I think,
on the top shelf above.
Yeah.
As a-
I'm serious, there are times when that could be very valuable, just to, oh, there it is, yeah.
as a maintenance tech, that's super valuable to have all that asset right there in front of you on your phone.
And it goes back, Mary, to making it as smart as we want it to be.
Absolutely. Well, making it functional for our needs
Yes.
is the deal. I mean, we're not trying to impress anybody, we're just trying to see what it's costing us to do business. Interesting. That's
We
interesting.
have a professional staff now, it's time to step
Yeah.
up and be professionals all the way around.
That's a good point.
Well, and y'all have devoted a lot of funds into getting us where we're at in our facilities, and we need to take care of those
I think it's
facilities.
time to step back. All right. Any other questions on that item?
Mac has a comment if you'll.
Oh, Mac has a comment. What's his comment?
I just want to maybe address them. First was, yes, with the point that Ricky mentioned, I mean, most customers start slow. They first, crawl and walk and then run, but to be able to run eventually, you'll need to start somewhere. And with our system, most of our customers, that main kind of use case would be just the ticket portal for submitting the request, ability to have it all kind of centralized in one area for Ricky and the team to be able to know what's been submitted, what's pending, what's the status of everything there, as well as a communication tool between just the team itself for with the Wichita County. That's the kind of main aspect. And there was one question mentioned as well in terms of whether you can upload manuals into the system, and that's a yes too. So you can we can upload manuals or any other files into those assets. That way, if Ricky or anyone from the team is maintaining them, they're out in the field and maybe they're trying to figure out how to kind of maybe troubleshoot something, that information is all going to be accessible directly from the field, from those mobile devices, instead of having to go back to maybe a computer to figure things out, etc. But again, that could be a step two, could be a future state. That initial kind of need, at least for Ricky, was setting up that ticket portal and way to facilitate the processing of those tickets submitted into the system.
Okay.
All that information that's stored, if for some reason we moved away from your company, we were your client, does that information stay with us, or do you keep it all? How would we get it back?
Yeah, you own all the data.
Okay.
We don't own any of your data, so at any time you have the option to export it. You don't even need to reach out to us. From the reporting, you can export it to Excel or PDF documents and take that data with you.
Okay. The next question is, there's no limit on data, what we put in there. She said earlier that store whatever we need to store forever. So keep track of those data entry forever.
Yep, we keep it forever for as long as you're a customer with us.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mac, thank you again.
Thank you all.
All right. Let's move on to item number 4, review and discuss jail maintenance projects and work orders. Sheriff, good morning.
Sheriff would have loved to have been like number 2.
Number
No,
one.
you needed to be a part of that conversation.
Yeah. 125 work orders in the last 2 weeks, so completed. That's including pre-maintenance stuff. There's an item on the agenda Tuesday, which was the replacement of a compressor on the freezer in the kitchen. It was over $5,000, but we had to fix it because we had more than $5,000 of food in there. So it's been replaced, but it's on the agenda for Tuesday. It's replaced the same day it went bad.
It's going to be interesting if we don't approve that.
Huh?
It's going to be interesting if we don't
Well, we
approve
give you
that.
the food, I guess, yeah. Hope we approve it, so. The exit gate, we've had a problem with power to it, but it's intermittently going out, but they've working on trying to figure out where the problem's at. So it's been stuck open some, been stuck closed some. So one of the switches that had gone bad on the camera switches in the main hall at the very far end, is no longer made by Dell. So they're working on getting pricing from Cornerstone, so be prepared, be sitting down.
Does it have to come through Cornerstone? If it's just
Well,
a switch?
I mean, we can buy it, it's just, they just have to tell us what they need.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're working on pricing, trying to figure out where they can get it from.
They require apparently a very specific switch.
And they probably don't want to tell you the item number unless you buy it from them.
It's probably patented. It only works with. Go ahead.
All the laundry dryers are up and running. We had a couple that were down. That's really about it. That was the main thing. Oh, all the dryers in the lights that were out, a total of 12 have been replaced. I think we have a couple of extras on hand now.
Yeah, we probably need to start scheduling total pod replacement,
Mm-hmm.
because the ones stay on all the time.
Well, in the pods at night, they go out, other than the little night lights stay on. And there's one light that stays on in the pod, in the main pod.
Hallway lights.
Hall light, wait, they stay on, yeah. I think that's what we're having to replace a bunch of.
We have the air filter replacement bid.
They
contract
did.
Coming out up soon.
Oh, there should be a contract coming soon. 'Cause
Couldn't remember if that was a spring thing or
Well,
if
I
it
thought
was
you said it
March.
was through 2026.
So if we had these two software packages, we would know.
we would know that, yeah.
Well, right now our software package is Morgan, who's so,
So we're good for another year.
okay.
Yeah. They did just finished all the filter replacement a couple weeks ago. That's all on maintenance.
Okay.
Less than 15 minutes.
Any questions on jail maintenance projects and work orders? All right, item number 5 is receive status report on salaries and overtime. Sheriff, you wanna talk through the out-of-county stuff or just let it speak for itself?
Speak for yourself, we do have 53 from out of county, so if we didn't have those, we would be just below the 500 mark. I think we're at 547 this morning.
Okay. Oh, we've come down quite a bit then.
We've been consistently sending 15 to 20 to TDC each week for the last 6 or 7 weeks.
And jail-based competency restoration has started, yes?
Yes.
How many do we have programmed, do you know?
I don't
Just
have
bring
it.
that on, yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
yeah, don't have that answer prepared.
Okay.
We have 8 in orientation this morning, and we have 0 open positions.
That's 2 reports
And
in a row, I
we
think.
actually have several in the waiting list to be hired.
Judge, the only thing I'll add on the reimbursements, US Marshals have not sent us October reimbursement yet, but that's
Okay.
most likely just due to the shutdown and
Oh, yeah.
We'll get paid eventually.
eventually.
I tried to tell the IRS that one time.
How'd that work out?
It didn't.
Can we just deduct it from LPPF and just
Yeah,
make a note
yeah.
in there?
The jail school should end next week, so those, we'll be back on the floor starting then. And these guys that hired, today's last day of orientation, so they should start hitting the floor tomorrow, and they'll have a couple weeks of training before they're on their own. So December, probably the second one in December, we should see where the numbers really are.
When would you, about to do about four different assumptions in this question, so forgive me for
Let me
that.
get my pencil.
If you stay fully staffed for the foreseeable future, when would you start to expect to see some overtime numbers come down for that? Is it 2 months? Is it 3 months?
We're starting to, the December schedule is already showing a decrease in numbers. Now, remember, overtime is caused by sick and vacation, so you may start having people take vacation that they haven't taken because we're fully staffed, so then we gotta pay the overtime to cover the vacation. Again.
Well, so that's why I asked the question of, I mean, would you expect, how long of the tail would you expect that to have?
I think as soon as we're fully staffed, you'll start seeing some vacations being used up. You know, people who are close to being maxed out and have used a day or two here and there, now they're able to take a full week off. I think you'll start seeing that, but I think by the end of December, we'll have a pretty good idea what the number's gonna be. I know this December schedule is, they were working like 5 on, 2 off for 3 weeks, and then they work 4 on and 3 off 1 week, and sometimes 2 weeks they get the 3 days off, but now they're all being scheduled the 4-3 pretty much.
Well, we'll get to actually do that experiment in real time, it looks like, if we can keep it. It's good.
But we got holiday pay coming up too in those payrolls, so,
That's 2 months.
Yeah.
yeah.
We have to
We've got holidays stacked on top of holidays.
Yeah.
Cody, ITC, it's increase in overtime this last pay period due to the digi stuff, or do you know what that was?
Yeah, partly there was some digi stuff.
Oh,
partly
with
there was
election?
Election stuff,
Okay.
yeah.
Judge, just to quickly throw it out there, there are some meal reimbursements on here. I would just let the court know that we are looking at amending the meal policy that is not affecting the amount that the court previously approved, just some revisions on how certain meals are treated for certain employees.
Yeah, and we're gonna do that, I think, as part of our larger end-of-year policy review, where we've got a couple of things coming up, so, yeah, thank you for. Okay. Everyone had a chance to look at that? Alright, let's go to item number 6, which is review and discuss regular bills. That came in from Matt yesterday at 5:16.
Thank you. No reason to run off when the exciting stuff started.
Oh, no, I sat through all the excitement today. And Barry, we have that kitchen drawer too that's full of, that one, the last one on the left hand
I'm telling you,
side.
everybody's got one. You know, it's got manuals for everything in there except what I've still got. I can't even
Unfortunately, we got 27 of them and they're scattered around every building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one knows who has the keys to
That's
them.
it.
Yeah.
It's pretty light besides the 4.6 million for LPPF.
LPPF, yeah. It's a big payment.
Mm-hmm. Puts a dent in that.
But it's not ours.
A bit of general good news, we closed another ARPA project today. The Electra Memorial Hospital is getting their ambulance finally.
Oh,
And
good.
so we're going to be sending them a check in December.
It's hard to believe what those things cost now. I mean, that is.
It's a good thing they ordered it when they did 4
Yeah.
years ago. or
That's a
whatever it was.
big deal.
Took 4 years to get it.
So the jail premium pay, Burke, and the Wichita Valley are the only open projects.
Well, they are putting pipe in the ground without any doubt.
Saw that.
But they haven't even scratched the dirt on the pump station.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bad part.
Mm-hmm.
I went out Tuesday and cleared some right of ways for them. They need to get some grass knocked down where they could run, and they were after it. My glasses get where they are.
Since we talk about LPPF and hospital, et cetera,
Mhm.
do you have time Monday sometime to visit with me about,
Yeah, that's right.
funding, an employee through IHC, not in our office, but utilizing, just, I'll visit with you
Yeah,
Monday if you got time.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
it's something that came up in our
Yes, sir.
homeless meeting.
Yeah.
Just take it out of LPPF, it's fine.
No, well,
Wish we could.
potentially,
Gotta change our
I know.
statute.
Yeah, I think the way our statutes are, we can, but.
but
Yeah.
looking at funding sources.
Yes, sir.
I'm an employee outside of Wichita County, but it would be indigent health related,
Okay.
put it that way.
Favorite cemetery out there, back up.
Okay, y'all good?
Yeah, great.
Y'all good?
Mhm.
Any questions on regular bills? Since everyone's ready to keep moving. All right, item number 7, this will potentially require action of the court. Discuss, consider, and/or take action on the selection of an architect or engineer to act as Wichita County's representative for the duration of the Burke-Burnett Annex project. Commissioner Fincannon, you wanna talk about this one?
Yeah,
No.
the way we're, well, the way we're moving forward, with the design build platform, we need to hire an architect, no different than we would hire a lawyer to do work for. We need a architect that has the credentials, has good standing, somebody that we could hire to be our advocate on this project. Basically, their job would be to inspect the other architect and the other general contractors' work, make sure everything's being done in accordance to the plans, and just basically be our advocate to keep supporting that. I reached out to Sid Littleton's architectural firm. They've sent in their proposal, their qualifications. All y'all have that in the backup. I think most of you are probably familiar, or at least know that group. The proposal, the dollar amount and all is in there, what they're willing to do for their services, so I don't know much more what you wanna add.
Yeah, so, just to walk through that a little bit, because it's design build statute requires the governmental entity to have an independent engineer or architect providing oversight of the design build firm's work. A lot of cities or counties that are larger would have their own in-house person to do that. Obviously, we don't, which is why we needed to go out and get a independent architect to do it. The Sid Littleton group, they've sent their qualifications. I think it's clear based on their certifications, education, the work they've done. I think it's clear they're qualified. But one of the big pieces that they will need to do for us is develop the RFQ for the design build firms and for the project itself. And so that's included in the proposal. It's an hourly rate. I think it's $175 an hour. And so we can do that here. Yeah, $175 an hour. We can do that here. If we select him, he'll do the work, he'll get the RFQ ready, and then we'll bring it to court hopefully by December 2nd. The court can look at the RFQ that he develops, the specifications in it, and then we can authorize it, go out for bids at that time. It has to stay in the paper for 2 weeks. That would put us on pace to open bids December 16th and select a firm for the end of the year.
Okay, and so he would develop the RFQ, we would select another architectural firm.
We would select an architectural firm that's gonna be in charge of the whole design and then building of the project.
And then that firm wouldn't just contract out or open those jobs and let those jobs. They would actually be responsible for those jobs?
Yes. Well, I mean, they still serve as the overall project oversight. How they specifically choose to do that will depend on how we draw up the RFQ.
And do we still believe that this will be completed by the end of next year?
Yes.
Okay,
Everything's still on a good timeline.
good deal. Cause we got $764,000 of ARPA funds to send that way.
Yeah. Cause like I said, the goal, we should have a firm selected by the end of the year and ready to get moving.
Good deal.
This is just the architect oversee.
This is
architect
our independent
oversee
architect.
the
We have that.
architect.
It
Yes.
really is, and the big, another
Yeah.
big factor was that RFQ to assist and help us in developing that RFQ.
Yeah, cause when I was in, I didn't realize, I mean, the specs that need to be in the RFQ get pretty nitty gritty, nuts and bolts, and so, wanted an architect to help put that together for us.
I would just ask that they would work with us to make sure that we can meet all your technology needs for the new building.
Okay.
No.
That's next. That's next step. That's not this step.
We'll get there.
I mean, it's worked last week.
At least you tried.
Just joking.
But yeah, so, for this, again, we're just selecting the architect to be our advocate and independently oversee who, the other client that we individually do.
So just for my clarification, why have we never done this in the past?
I think that's just the court has never chosen to look to go down that
We've
route.
always had an architect of record being on a continuing contract through Harper Perkins. We don't have them on a retainer right now.
Mhm.
We still engage them on our current buildings.
It's, and there's, I can tell you that I've had a lot of architects and a lot of business people throughout the city ask me that same question. Because there's a lot of times that they've never got to bid on any county jobs. Nobody has, I mean, other than Harper Perkins. So that's, I mean, that's another reason, I mean, nothing against anybody, we're just trying a different route here. See if it worked, how the process works. Because of that, it has kinda, we've had a couple of stumbles, cause we gotta go back and do something, cause we're not doing it exactly.
Yeah, cause I mean, you get, part of it is that when you've got something that you know what you're doing and who you're doing it with, it just makes it a lot more efficient, makes it a lot easier to do.
Well,
This has been a learning experience.
Well, my question is why did we never hire an architect to watch over our architects?
Because.
We could have done that, right? We could have hired Sid to watch Harper
This
Perkins.
is a different
make
build,
sure-
this is a different type of contract than what we use in the
Because on
past.
this, the design build method in statute actually requires that piece. I don't think that the other delivery methods that we've done in the past do.
Necessarily do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so is there a possibility with this action that we could take in two actions and develop the way station into this project as well,
Not
once we bring
posted
him
that
on?
way.
I don't think you could post anything. We couldn't act on it.
And the other
I
part.
mean, once we have him hired,
Well, but I think the court would still need to, we would still need to take action to approve a delivery method for that project, which I don't think we have done yet. But we probably did that, 2 or 3 months ago for this project? The court had to accept among the 4 or 5 different delivery methods we can do. We had to select what we were gonna do design build for this one. Cause we have to decide how the project method we wanna do. So that, we will need to do a separate item for that when we're ready to do it.
Yeah. Typically on a CMAR, an agency would have a person designated to oversee the project. We chose not to do that during the LEC build to save money. So we currently stayed within that model moving forward.
I think it's largely, it's just
But-
that is a policy
Yeah,
question that the court.
That's something we chose not to do back at the time when we entered into the LEC project. So, and we never went back and looked at having a owner representative.
Yeah.
So it could be, owner representative could be an architect, it could be an engineer,
Yeah.
it could be just somebody
As long as they're
appointed to
qualified.
oversee.
Yeah.
And
Right.
we did that in-house.
But to answer your question, Commissioner, if you think you're ready to go to that level on the way station project, just need to put it on the agenda and have the court consider delivery method, and we'll approve that, and then that'll kickstart the other steps we need to take. Okay.
Any
What?
other questions on?
Yeah, any other questions on the selection of litigant for this?
Then I'd make the motion to approve SLDCA concept as our advocate architect on this project.
Do we have a second?
Yeah.
Okay. We've got a motion by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Beecham to select Sid Lidican Design Concepts Architects to act as Wichita County's representative for the duration of the Burke Burnett Annex project. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item?
Nowhere you've got the project mentioned, but we might go ahead and just say to be paid from permanent improvement funds with funds to be determined by the county auditor. Just that way, if they send us a invoice for anything,
So is it
then we're
permanent
covered.
improvement
It'd
funds
come
or
out
the
of,
ARPA
come out of
funds?
ARPA, wouldn't it?
Well, the ARP has already been moved to the permanent improvement funds.
Okay.
So whenever it's charged to the permanent improvement, then we're gonna recognize the revenue from ARPA and it'll just offset.
Do you have any objection to the motion or
No.
second, including that? Okay. So it's to select SLDCA as Wichita County's representative for the Burke-Burnett project to be paid from permanent improvement with lines determined by the county auditor. Any other questions or comments on the item or the motion? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. And with that, it's 11:46. Court is adjourned.
Going to health board?